The Speaker of the House has been reasonable in terms of discussions with me so far. He talked about all these things. I said, look, why don't we just, by I think it's March, the first week in March, why don't we just lay out our budgets? You put yours down, I'll put mine down. And our people sit and compare them. Decide where we can make a compromise, if we can make a compromise. When I put mine down, they're going to see I lowered the deficit this year by $2 trillion in what I'm talking about. And by the way, the last fellow who had this job, who never showed up at the transition, I might add, but the last guy who had this job, he increased the federal debt, which took over 200 years to accumulate. That's what the debt is, by the way. We talk about the federal debt. It's every penny owed since the inception of this nation and the interest rates that followed it. Okay, that's what it is. Just in 4 years, he added to that federal debt of over 200 years by 25%. And by the way, he had a $2 trillion tax cut. The vast majority went to the super wealthy. Guess what? Didn't pay for a single solitary cent of it. I will not cut a single Social Security or Medicare benefit. In fact, I'm going to extend the Medicare Trust Fund for at least 2 decades. I'm going to not raise taxes on anyone making over $400,000 grand. And I'll pay for it all, my proposals, by making the wealthy and big corporations pay just a little bit more. Like I said, do you think a trillionaire should be paying at 3%? Look, I'm a capitalist. If you can make $1 million or $1 billion, I said trillion, if you make $1 billion or $1 million, God love you. But just pay something. No, I mean it sincerely. Just pay something. Capitalism without competition is exploitation. Some Republicans in Congress even threatened to have America default on its debt for the first time in American history if we don't agree to the cuts they want, or don't agree to any, and they will not agree to any tax increases on anything. Well, Democrats have never, ever done that. Our national debt has accumulated well over 200 years. We haven't missed a payment ever in America. Why in God's name would we give up the progress we made for the chaos they're suggesting? This nation has gone through too much. We've come too far to let that happen. And I won't, and I don't think you will either, at least not on my watch.